That's gonna work. I was planning on clamping that down. May have to just hold it. Alright, so we have I believe this is a KitchenAid knife. I have been working on the finish. It was a little rusty, and no, it is not KitchenAid. It's Sabatier. But anyway, we're gonna finish up the polish here, get rid of all that grit. And I previously was at 150, which is pretty coarse. So let's try some 220 here. And then I have some 400, and then we're going to break out all the way up to some 2000. So we should be able to get this pretty well cleaned up. You can see it's pretty scratched right now from that 150. So I did this for the first time the other day on one of our kitchen knives. This is actually a knife from a neighbor. Several neighbors just kind of drop off knives, which always gives me something to work on. Pretty amazing just what that 220 has done here. Let's see if I can show you. There's the scratches on the other side, and then this side's starting to polish up pretty good. So I did learn some lessons on that one, and that was don't go too quick to the next grit, because it's a lot easier to remove with the coarser stuff. By the time you get to the fine, you really want to just be polishing and not working on any scratches. I'm pretty impressed right there just with 220. I want to only see my 220 scratches. So I have another project that I'm trying to work on, but I just got started too late tonight, and so I had everything set up, but it's just too late. So I decided I'll just go live here. I don't really have a lot of success on the lives. There's not a lot of people tuning in. There's just one watching right now, so don't really have much of a live following. But I need to film this anyway, so. Oh, that's really amazing what the 220 did. So I have this little spot here around the edges. So most of the scratches are gone. Those are just the 220 scratches, but right around there I need to spend some more time on, and that'll really get us a good result. This sandpaper doesn't, maybe it's not supposed to be wet, but it doesn't really hold up very well. And I'm down to my last couple sheets. I need to get some more. You can definitely feel it though. You can feel where it still needs to get rid of those. Mostly on the edge there. That looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that's great. Nice. All right, let's work on the other side. The big kitchen knife that I did a video on the other day was, it had a flat handle, and so I could clamp it right there. I guess I thought I could do that with this one too, but this round handle is no good. Alright, so if you are watching, even if it's on the replay, let me know what your knife sharpening technique is, or what your system is. You've seen on my channel I do a lot on the Techstudios profile, which is what we're going to do to this guy. I also have another kitchen knife that we're going to work on as well. This one just needs a little bit of polishing and we'll get it sharpened up. Yeah, so most people out there just freehand on the stones, which I think is really cool. There's a couple people out there that have an Apex or a Wicked Sharp or thing like that. My neighbor just got a Work Sharp, and I've never used one, but he really likes it, so I need to check that out. Maybe I can do a video on it. I think that's probably pretty good. Good. Let's go to 400. You just need these little pieces here. So I realized when I was editing a video the other day that my bench top here is probably due for some resurfacing. So I have an electric planer, and I think I'm going to plane this down. This workbench was my grandfather's, and he didn't do the greatest job with the glue up. There's some really big gaps. That one right there really bothers me because it's right in the middle. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I would like to resurface it. It's not really very flat, and it has this really crummy, like, shellac polyurethane finish, and I would like to probably just oil it and do something a little bit more natural so you can sand on it. But it is just a workbench. It's not a work of art or anything. I'm pretty impressed with how that looks already. That's nice. So I really enjoy hanging out on other people's live streams when they're just kind of doing informal things, when it doesn't really need to be like an edited video piece. But maybe people just don't like watching knife sharpening. My videos, before I started doing knives, my videos were doing really well. But I had to quit doing gun stuff because I was getting all sorts of red flags on my channel, and they were gonna like shut my channel down. In fact, they did demonetize me for over a year. But I guess I didn't care. I just kept doing it. And then I realized, man, I gotta try to clean this up a little bit. So I spent some time cleaning up the channel, and I deleted a few videos, and I got monetization turned back on, which is no big deal because it's not really a money maker, but I think it does help your videos be seen by more people. Okay, I think those are just the scratches in that 400 grit, because that looks pretty good. I think I like that these little hollow grinds here, the pattern goes this way. So it kind of creates a cool contrast on there. All right, let's go up quite a bit here. Let's try that 2000 grit. See if it makes any difference. This is new. I've never have used this stuff before. Oh, that's interesting. Now, this is wet dry. All right, 2000 grit. Oh, that's great. That looks awesome. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's probably about as good as that quality of metal is gonna go. It's very smooth. All right, cool. Just a little soapy water here in the spray bottle. Sometimes people ask what's in there. At one point, I had a different spray bottle, and it had a little drop of some chemical in it, and I forgot the name of that chemical. It was supposed to be probably like a surfactant, where it kind of helps stuff separate. But I realized that dish soap just works just as well, and you already have dish soap, so that is really cool. I'm really enjoying the 2000 grit. That is a nice polish. Now, I don't have my buffer wheel set up. I wish I did on my bench grinder, or I would buff this out. I think it's going to be fine though. This is not a nice kitchen knife, just every day. Oh, that is really great. Nice. Okay, cool. Have not done that before with the 2000 grit. Let's get the Techstudios profile going here. And we'll put an edge on it. I get a lot of questions about this thing, and it's really a cool knife sharpener. Now, I bought this one like 3 or 4 years ago, and it didn't come with all the stuff they have now, but the ones now are also way more expensive. So mine just came with, it didn't even come with a base. This is just a board that I put some leftover laminate flooring on. I'd like to do a fancier base, but I drilled some holes right here for the little tools, and then screwed it in, and that's pretty much it. It is able to be leveled like this, but I don't run an angle finder. I just use the one on the machine, so that works easy enough. put a really nice edge on this. This is usually part I edit out in the video. Getting it all set up. See what angle we have on here right now. Oh, we are way. Oh yeah, we were doing like a chisel or something last time. That's way high. That's a 35-degree right there. We need to be more in the 20 range. Let's go right at 20. See what that looks like. All right, so we'll start on the coarsest. We don't have damage, but this will let us do our best job here. It's a little knife. I'm going to set the stroke up here so I can use the full stone. Let's see if we can see where we're at here. Yeah, it's what it was. Something so satisfying about that sound. With this much stone and that much of a blade, this will go pretty quick. Alright, that's about 15 strokes. I don't get too caught up on the strokes here while we're on the coarse stones, but try to make it somewhat even. So whatever material this knife is, it's taking an edge really well, but that also means, well, it means I can get it pretty sharp, but it's probably not going to stay sharp. I just learned the other day that using those butcher steels is pretty darn effective. I did not give that enough credit. And so I have been butcher steeling every knife when I use it in the kitchen, driving my wife crazy, but it just works so well. I didn't count that time I was talking. We'll do one more pass on each side and then we'll go down. So I started to talk about this, but this is the Techstudios profile, and it's the famous quote-unquote Russian knife sharpener. And I learned about it on the Wrangler Star channel. And I ordered it right away, and they were not ready for customers. And it took several months to get here, but man, I have just loved having it. And it was way too expensive. They're even more expensive now, but it is supreme quality. And I got one of the first runs when it's still shipped in the green box. Now they have a plastic case, which I'm sure is better because that green box just sits over there and I don't really have a use for it. I just keep it because it's a cool green box, but it's got the Russian lettering on it and it looks kind of cool. But there's no purpose for it. You can't store it really in there. So I'm sure the new case is way better than that box, but it was all handmade. You can tell that everything was machined and knurled and really primo quality. So you definitely got your money's worth. It was just kind of a lot of money for a knife sharpener. I was able to make some videos on it, and I probably paid for the thing, but YouTube doesn't really make much money for the little micro channels like what I have. Now, when I was doing some of the gun videos I have are still up, and they actually still get tons of views. I wish I could make more of those. For some reason, they were never flagged, and so I left them. And they get more views than the knife sharpening does for sure. All right, that's going really well. Got a nice looking edge to it already. Oh yeah. So I guess if you want to send me a knife to be sharpened, send me an email. It's eaglerun23 at protonmail.com, PROTON mail.com. Send me an email and I'll tell you the details and the shipping info and stuff. It would not be expensive because I would shoot a video on it and I guess get paid that way for it. Obviously I couldn't do hundreds of knives, but a couple knives here and there coming in. My neighbors actually keep me pretty busy, which is great. I have another project I'm working on. I got a shovel that needs restored, and it's a friend of mine shovel who's a master gardener, and I want to do something really cool to it, but I'm having a hard time finding all the pieces I need. I bought paint for it the other day, and I'm going to paint it a really cool color, and I'm going to sharpen the tip, but it has like 6 pins, just like that you have to peen over, like a rivet, and I got those ordered. They should be here soon. I need to take the thing apart and start working on it because it's going to take several days with the paint, and it needs fully wire wheeled and ground down. I'm just going to do a couple over here because I think we're pretty even. We'll jump over on the next stone. All right. Okay, so that was 40 microns. And now we're going to go to 2014 microns. So this right here is pretty fine. I believe this is around, I need to look it up. I always forget, and I always say I need to look it up, and I never look it up. I believe this is over 1,000. I think this is like 2,000. But we're starting to get really smooth already right here with this stone. So the work is done. We're just now polishing that edge so that it cuts nice and cleanly. The other Techstudios doesn't have this apparatus. It has a ball detent, and you just click and spin it without having to loosen it. It's pretty nice, but for the amount of volume that I do, it's not that big of a deal to unclamp it, and it was substantially cheaper. I was on their website the other day because I keep meaning to order an attachment for scissors, and they don't have this model anymore. And I think all of them have that ball detent, and they're all quite a bit more expensive than what I paid. If you're wanting a cool system, though, I still recommend it, even though it's expensive. I don't know that you could really make your money back. I mean, I guess if you're sharpening a lot of knives and charging for it, you could, but it'd be quite an investment spending $600 or $700 on a knife sharpener. That's very smooth. I don't know if it's doing anything anymore. I think that's about as far as it's going to go. It's just, yeah, it's very shiny. All right, let's finish her off here, and we'll do this other one. The other one just needs sharpened, so it won't take very long. $20 was just perfect for this thing. I think it actually comes out to be around 19 if my angle finder is still accurate. Oh, so I got something else to say. The straight razors. Does anyone use a straight razor to shave with? I've been fascinated with them, and I've been looking at them for years. And I use a safety razor as it is, just because I don't like those multi-bladed contraptions. I find that it's a smoother shave and it's less irritable when you just have one blade instead of 17 blades cutting. I remember that commercial, you take one stroke, it takes four. I'm like, whoa. Or I could take 4 strokes if I need it. So yeah, I use a safety razor, which I really like. And you buy a box of 100 razor blades, which lasts me like 2 years. We're finishing off here. I'm just going to do a few on each side. So yeah, I'm gonna order a safety razor, and I'll need to get the strop going. We can sharpen that thing up. I'll let you know how it does. Oh. All right, so we got a little paper here. Oh yeah. Very nice. That will do fine. Drinking some brandy tonight. I have no idea if you're supposed to drink brandy on the rocks or not. I do. All right, so this is a Faberware or Farberware. I wonder if that's a knockoff. How do you get in this thing? Oh, that tape. I thought that tape was a good idea, but I told him to tape it up. Don't use cheap tape. There was a box of knives and some other tools and stuff that need worked on left on my porch. Some of those I'll do videos on, but most of them I probably won't. That's all junky. Clean that up. That tape was a bad idea. Maybe painter's tape would have been a better idea. And cheap packing tape just got us all gummed up. But this is really interesting knives. It's like, it looks like it should be a nicer, but that's just like plastic. Farberware. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. I feel like that, is that spelled wrong? Is it Farberware? I thought it was Faberware with no R. Oh, they silly. All right, let's, I'm going to assume that we're at the same 20 degree, but let's check it out here and see what we think. There's no secret here to putting this on there, but you do want to keep it, you want to keep the blade as parallel with the jaw as you can. So parallel being difficult to do on a curved blade because none of these blades are flat. And as long as you don't take it off or reset it in the middle of your sharpening, it's the same on both sides. So as long as it's not in there crooked or radically crooked, it should be fine. All right, let's see where we're at here on this 20 or 18. It's not quite that. So you can see, pretend that this is the bevel, so flat, and then let's see if I can do it like this. Flat, and then the bevel there. When you're not at the right angle, you only cut the top of that bevel and it doesn't go all the way down to the tip. So right now I'm about 3/4 of the way down on 20, which at this point you just decide, are you going to make it a 20 or are you going to chase that bevel and see if you can go flat? I think I would be happier with this if it were a 20. I really like 20 for kind of utility kitchen knives like this. And it looks like the steel is not so hard that it won't take it. So we're gonna make it a 20. Yeah, we're already almost all the way down. So if you had a really high carbon, high quality knife, it would take some time to change the angle, but this guy's not giving us any trouble. We're about 90% of the way there. All right, looking good. Well, that looks like it's all the way there. looking good. We're meeting. Let's do one more on each side, and we'll drop grits. The rule of not dropping grits too soon that I was talking about with that sandpaper is really applicable here too. It's so much easier to do the work with the coarser stones. Instead of rushing through them. 50-40 microns. This is our medium coarse. There really should be no like work being done by even this stone. Should only be messing with the scratches from the previous. And we've got real consistent edge there, which is great. Looks great. So again, a lot of this is stuff I would edit out if I were making this into a 15 or 20 minute video working on 2 knives. I try to shoot for that 15 or 20 minute mark. But if you do have any questions, please, I read all the comments because I don't get that many. So, and if you have, if you want to email me, you can email me eaglerun23@protonmail.com. If you have any specific questions that you don't want to leave in the comments, if you want to send me a knife to sharpen, that'd be cool. I would love to do that. I don't do this professionally, other than I guess YouTube pays me to do it, but I did sharpen knives for income at one point in my life. I was in college and I had a knife sharpening and scissor sharpening business. It was super fun. I went to fabric stores and craft stores and sharpened people's scissors while they waited. Had a little mobile setup that I just set up in there, and I charged, gosh, that was 20 years ago. I charged $25 for a pair of scissors. And these were all like really nice, fabric cutting scissors. You wouldn't want to spend $25 to sharpen a pair from Walmart, but these are $100 scissors and stuff that these ladies had, and I figured out how to do a really good job and had really good success, and people would drop stuff off and I'd pick it up, and I mean it was fun, and I just did it on Saturdays, and I was able to make enough money to keep the wheels going while I was working on other stuff, just a side job. I lost count of my terrible story. too long on that one. This one feels really smooth, even better than the other one. If it is a knockoff Farberware, it sure is smooth. I think it just needs one more here and we'll be good. Let's jump to the 7.5. Almost done. Last side. All right, let's see how we did. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good at all. Well, that is not good at all. What did we do wrong here? Let's blame it on the paper. It looks like it should be good. It feels good. Well, the cheap Farberware is not a good cutter. I mean, it feels really smooth. Why is that not cutting very well? I wonder if there's a couple of spots where it didn't go all the way down. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to end it there. I might run this through some stones by hand, see if I can improve that a little bit. That's disappointing. Well, that's all the time I have tonight, so thanks for hanging out. And we will see you next time.